I'm starting to see my brain think, so do I want to be sending emails? Do I like that final feeling of doing all that? So then I create email drafts here. Or do I just want to capture a bunch of things and now have it add drafts? I think I won't predict. I imagine there will be a lot of people across various age groups coming up where we're so, like, imagine there's being on TikTok, right? Or being on Instagram, or being like, we as humans have these blocks of, I have this app, haven't been using it, but it allows you when you're using it to precisely track what it is that you're doing as you do it. If we're as humans are now able to say, okay, there is a solution and a way to take those parts that I just know, like that I can automate and give AI to do, and I don't want to do perfect, right? But of course, it's going to be a little bit challenging, I think, for a lot of people coming up to truly be like, okay, I'm ready to just give up all my web time, do what you got to do. No, of course, we're going to need to do a lot of our own stuff still. As developers, as product people, as whatever, we're here now defining the personal agentic suite that we're going to delegate or provision to, and then delegate away out of us, right? Or away from us. Send email is fine. I've used it. And the way it works with Composio, by the way, as I said, each API has a ton of actions, and then each action has a ton of parameters. So an action is Gmail send email. If we use this tool, like this specifically, this is now one instance that is technically like synced and correctly piped into our agent. So you have to do another Composio instance for every single tool you want. So that's the thing that I was mentioning. If you have these big complex APIs, you have to know how to manage how many actions do I need? Is it the principle of, does the principle dry apply here? Do not repeat yourself and just go for, but that's BS. Here, at least, because users are unpredictable. We are terrible. And with users, you can never really know what the heck's going to happen. So there is a little bit of some things here of like how Composio, and they are doing tons of work, and users will be able to be flexible. But for now, we have to say, okay, I want to provision myself the ability to be able to send emails, fetch my emails, and then create email drafts. Great. So we have 3 nodes that take care then of that specific thing. And again, these are authed from Composio, and you can do this for users. So it's not just this is for you, but the platform there allows different users to auth into sort of things. So we can even build these things for ourselves if you're technical or developer or the product, right? People watching this. But if you're just looking for the experience of having this agent do exactly as we're going through here without me ever wanting, then yeah, that can also be done. So in our case, Composio is going in Composio Gmail connections. We're just going to grab the send email, and then we're going to say create email draft. So that's particularly useful. Actually, I found it from just my experience with it. So as you're working and you have your chat window pulled up or you find some information, or you're inside a research session with your agent, yeah, have this be like, oh, cool. But then you literally get like a sales thing or CRM thing from. So why not just obviously have that go to why jump out, right? So they have the ability to do that action. So let's do it. So we're going to create email, send email, create email draft. Yes. And one more just for testing purposes, because again, remember, we're building right now a self-diagnostics thing. This thing is about to start building itself here as soon as I'm done doing whatever it is that I'm doing, trying to attach these tools and talking too much. Sorry. Okay, let's get, if you're following along, seriously skipping, sorry. Okay, so fetch emails, I've had issues. So just as of January 2025, a couple of complex things. So we're not going to do that, but this thing absolutely can. I think it's maybe just my user error. We can absolutely have it read your emails and stuff like that. List labels. So as you can see, we're going through these actions. This is what's available. Some APIs are very thorough and have literally everything. Some APIs, maybe not everything. So we're just going to actually say that, yeah, we just have the send email and create email draft, and that's fine. Okay, so then JIRA, let's do JIRA. So that's piped into our stuff. Again, auth, tokens, all that stuff. So for JIRA, we're going to then resync to get access to our status, our correct status, and the actions to use. So you always got to make sure if you're getting an error because maybe you just quickly set this. Remember, this thing is, it's sensitive. Refresh, especially if you're copying over and... Okay, so for JIRA, this is an example. Look. The agent can comfortably handle any of these actions. From administrative, as I understand it, I think maybe not like everything, but there's over 300. And again, I've had decent amount of exposure to JIRA as a user, JIRA on an admin side. And wow, bulk creates and like those clones, and it's intense. But is it just as simple as drag this, grab, and go? Unfortunately not. What we will do is say create, not bulk. I'm just going to do one. And I do this in the other comparison video. By the way, if you watch that and you're wondering if there's another one coming, there is. Okay. So JIRA create filter. Yeah, create issue. So you notice how we're like going for the most probable or likely tools, right? Like, what are you going to do in JIRA a lot if you're a person in there? Create a lot of issues probably, right? Or if you already have some form of... Okay, I'm going to connect it. Hate when that happens. You grab it, off you go, but the cable, nowhere to be found. I'm going to save. And let's take a quick little break here, and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So, what else is cool about Composio? So I have Firecrawl and Perplexity running through Composio now. If you are not a Flowise person, doesn't mean anything to you. Sorry, but if you are a Flowise person, you know that Perplexity, perhaps, for example, wasn't native. Not a problem. Search for Perplexity. And I'm just piping things in. That's another cool thing about Composio is you can just they do API services connections too. So nothing really revolutionary. But when you combine that with all the personal agentic stuff, it adds up. It starts to make a lot of sense. So Perplexity now, I just have my account, all my developer stuff, just like I have from OpenAI and Anthropic. Why is that cool again? So yeah, we just allow our agent to be it's just interesting, right? It's like Perplexity is an agent of the web and whatever kind of setup they use there, but it's an agent using an agent to deliver agentic work. Everything is just agent. Continuing just with a couple more. We're almost okay. So what else? Oh yeah, so let's do Firecrawl for it. Oh, see, I forgot. So remember, when you're building these, look, if you go down here, you still see that the actions to use is wrong, which it for sure will error out. So just make sure you refresh as you go. I just found, yeah. So we can now ask our agent to do things like use Exa and Perplexity to research a topic, an assignment, something for me, right? That's rich. And then also say Google custom search. So 3 tool combines. This is really the benefit of building open source like this, and you're free to choose any model, have these times 50, switch out all, like you use like putting together a card, right? We're just figuring out here what parts we need. Yeah. So in this case, I'm going to search for Firecrawl. And yeah, what Firecrawl lets us do is web crawling and data extraction, enabling organizations to gather content, index sites, and gain insights from online sources at scale. That's the really important word there, why you want to be paying attention to companies like Firecrawl and Exa. because it's like Google helped us make sense, right? What was their famous slogan? Organize all the information. Sorry, completely drawing a blank. But it's like now the AI layer is helping us truly shape a meaning out of that sense, if that makes sense. And Firecrawl is, and again, there's now, this year, I think we're going to see a huge bloom there. It's because this is an insane industry, like Exa too. We need pretty heavy duty stuff now because, right, considering how much noise there is all over the web. So boom, right here for our open source agent build, we have Access Perplexity, Exa, Firecrawl, and free to choose as you interact with it and as we build that system prompt and do all this self-diagnosis tests. Yeah, so Composio, again, sound like a broken record now. Composio, if you don't hire me right now, I don't know what you're doing. Because I am doing here Composio work. And I don't know, I just believe it's in the whole cause, or what we're all doing here, and trying to make sure we tool these things up correctly and stuff like that. Okay, so as you can see when you're, I wish, maybe in upcoming releases we can have an update. I don't want to be refreshing these things all the time. And there's all sorts of, this is the first release, and for that is me. So look at that. So immediately, quickly, you can do, there's Firecrawl native, by the way. I know for sure, believe me, if somebody's like sitting there going, oh, I just use it. You can use, and I have set that up as a document loader. Definitely happy to do that. But something about the ability to just work this through this Composio auth layer is great. But again, you have options. You can do this really crazy scraping stuff right out of your chatbot using all these services, and Firecrawl is definitely should be a top one. So we're just going to choose the Firecrawl scrape extract. So we're not going to have a crawl really operation. We just want it to be like when we say, okay, we go to that page and we need all the information or something like that. Okay, Firecrawl, Perplexity. We won't test it within the scope of our session here. But I have YouTube, Twitter is a bit more complex. So again, yes, tips. If you're already a heavy-duty Composio user or specifically within Flowise, please connect. Let's talk because, or just, I'm happy to observe how this all grows and progresses. But I have, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and actually, will we do, you know what, we won't do that fully. I think that's okay. All right. Let's actually, let's pause here, or not pause perhaps, but let's call this from the questions that I've prepared just a bit earlier. We have our baseline everything. So what I like to do once you're, especially again, everybody does it differently, I guess. You can go and test as you go, connect a couple and talk to it. But once you get the hang of canvases and are agentically sound proficient, then you can just connect all your stuff you think you need, kind of thing, what you need.